Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. My name is Michael Tomlinson. I'm an Americanteer. Today is September the 17th, um, 2022. So we're just moving along with the year. I'm hoping everyone's having a good day today, and or a good evening, or whatever time of the day you may be watching this. Hope everything's going well, and you're living your life to its fullest. Doing your best, which is important. And if you're not and need help um, with yourself, like to create, like I can't become motivated enough. I wake up, or I don't want to wake up because I have no motivation to wake up, and it's a lack of like sense of purpose. Like I have no real purpose to wake up. I mean, if I wake up, it means I'm just going to pretty much stay in my pajamas as long as I can, and I have my spot in on the couch and all this stuff like that. And so uh, there's a lot of thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans that are living like that. I mean, it's just uh, a tough hurdle and a thing to tackle, and that is a sense of purpose or being motivated enough to do something and take action, which I try to push through. As an Americanteer, it's kind of like our real, like one of the parts of the job, or mantra, or whatever you want to call it, uh, standard value, um, principles of the Americanteer is to help other Americans become Americanteers, of course, but help them pave a road, to which and what they need to do and where they want to go and how to stay focused and motivated or have a sense of purpose. And so there's there's the two-part thing with this. So I'm about to reveal, and the two parts about it is I have half of it, you have the other half. Those are the two parts. I don't have the full two parts here. Okay, this is inside job. This is your mind, not my mind. This is your mind, your heart, your soul, your body. I can't dictate to you what you should or should not do. But if you really were not sure about what to do, you think you need help, write this down right now. Get a piece of paper and a pencil, um, and write this statement down. And so that way you can use it in the future to repeat to yourself to get more of an understanding of what's going on with you and what you can or cannot do, or what you want to do or don't want to do. I mean, sometimes people just don't want to do anything at all. So I can't, you can't force people to do something they don't want to do. You're just forcing them to do other things that are bad actually, and become liars or manipulators or deceivers, because they can't really go raise themselves to that occasion. And I'm here to say that's not a bad thing. I'm just here to say that you need help going there. If you want help, you can go there. So the statement, you have the paper and pencil ready, is ask yourself. It's a question. Okay, what can I do right now that's going to lead me in the general direction I need to go into? What can I do right now that's going to lead me in the general direction of where I need to go? It's a little bit different, but the same thing. The key factors in there: general direction. Not like it's going to come up to you and be like, oh yeah, now I know what to do. It's a process, and the process can be, and that's where you have to make a decision. Like, is it going to be a fun process for you, or you just don't want to deal with it because you already see it's going to take too much effort or energy or things you don't want to do. You feel like you might be uncomfortable doing, and that therefore you won't do it. But I say if it's uncomfortable to do it. That's the best way to have a great experience in life and get through it on your own. You just can't imagine the effects it will have within you, within your soul, your heart, your mindset. Everything will change or start to change. Nothing's going to change overnight. That's my point. It's not going to change in a month. It's not going to change in 6 months. If you've already been hardwired to the matrix and living a certain life for such a long time, many years, it may take up to a year from what we're talking about right now before you really start to see the results of what manifested. So uh, be patient with yourself. Ask yourself. This is the part two. This the second half to that answer. It's the answer is that you will already know what to do when you ask yourself. See, and this is where I'm going to go into the second phase. How do you know that? What will you know? Because I mean, I can't tell you, uh, and I already know that you know what you need to do. You just need to just do it. Just buck up. Go get them, Tiger. What's the problem? What's a holdup? You're not really doing anything else. That's of importance or taking you in a general direction you want to go into to have a sense of purpose and a place in yourself with your society and life around you, your community. Start to feel whole and happy as an individual. So after asking yourself that, you have to trust yourself. This is, you got to know yourself a little bit, but you have to trust what your intuition is telling you, your mind, your heart, and it will answer that question for you if you ask yourself and if you listen to yourself. And it might be something that you are thinking like, what? Do what? Think what? Like it may confuse you in the beginning, but that's okay. Go with it. Just do what you can and do what you can. That's the point. And it's not. I'm sure it's not anything major because it's a general direction. It's not saying this is the ultimate vision of what's going on here. It's a general. As you keep going in that general direction, you'll start to grow into and manifest into the vision part. Like, oh wow, and the sense of purpose will follow up behind that, and that fire will light up inside you, and you'll have that desire to want to get out of bed and get with the program and go for it because you now already, that sense of direction is now turning into a purpose. It's has value. You can sense the results even though they're not apparent in your face. You know it's happening. So back to the intuition. Follow your intuition. That's the answer really to your for yourself. If you're saying I don't have the answer, well, I'm telling you, you do have the answer. You just not. You need to listen to it. Get out of that hardwire set of thinking and listen to what your intuition is telling you. If it's calling for drastic action to do something, then just go for it. If it's saying do something minor like go to the public library and start to research it or check out some books, that's a small generation. Even though you're not sure about that direction, you at least you have uh, you're being propelled to move toward something. The universe is speaking to you, and or your self love, your self interest, and you didn't realize that you had any kind of interest in engineering. All of a sudden, you're like, want to check out or read engineering books because somehow it just fascinates you, uh, and it always has. I think my old story or backlog story was being an archaeologist, which I never became an archaeologist, but even when I was a kid, I knew that there was a, a, a sense of calling for me to go out and explore. Just a curious little boy, but the exploration of it all, just that adventure to look and find and discover something always just made my mind just like explode. And I was always going, thinking like, wow, wow, that is just amazing that we're still learning and discovering artifacts from the past. Um, and so that's kind of like my backstory that may or may not help you. I don't know. Um, but I will tell you, I share with you a really quick story about following intuition, and it's something that applies to me. And this happened, I don't know, maybe a long time. Oh, after September 11th attack, like 2 months later, I guess going into December, Um, and I don't know if anybody remembers what it was. A lot of you remember what happened and the story behind it, but the aftermath of that attack on America, that just, I mean, that was just a punch to the gut. Americans just did not expect, I didn't expect, no one expected that to happen on that day, and to be so vulnerable for planes around America going from the Pentagon, going from the White House, the Twin Towers. That is like some coordinated stuff going on here. It's not like a Cessna airplane trying to take down a building. It's this was like a planned, timed attack on us, and believe me, the aftermath after that was we were just paranoid. Now, people may or may not remember that part, but Homeland Security started. Traveling became an issue. You had to start taking off your shoes, things like that. I mean, like identity and things, issues all of a sudden heightened. Uh, new rules, which were laws now, which were laws then, they just call them new rules or whatever, um, kicked into effect immediately after that too. Um, so we all became suspicious of each other, basically. If you look different from what people would determine to be an American, if you look like you're from like any Middle Eastern country or Muslim in any way, you know, that was sad because people did not trust, other people, and every community across America, the smallest town, even thought of themselves as being a target. They thought they have a cell living in their community that's ready to, go to the baseball game and take all the, little the community down or what, and it's not, I'm not laughing because it's funny, but I'm just trying to remind everyone of what was going on there. And economy was dropping. Nobody was spending any money on anything. No, everyone was unsure about the war. Are we under attack? Are we beginning an attack? And suspicion was off the hook. There was probably horrors of, of product like the pandemic that just passed, like buying a lot of toilet paper or preparing for a bad situation to happen in America, like some kind of inner war, like we find out we have hundreds of terrorists living as cells, and they're just going to start just terror, causing chaos throughout America, which did not happen, thank God. But that all that mindset and that thinking of fear, and reacting and taking action on the fear, caused this whole shift in not wanting to participate with the community as much in keeping your money, and not wanting to put it in the economy, which has caused the economy to start shifting downward, was not a good thing. So let me back to the intuition. So I'm just giving you the backlog of the context of the story, because at the time, or 2 months later, I was asking myself, what can I do today that's going to take me in the general direction, that I need to be going into. And I was driving, I was about to go shopping. I ended up buying like 20 pairs of slippers, Cookie Monster slippers, that is. One pair for myself, and one pair for my girlfriend, one pair for everybody else that I can possibly find, right? Um, and I didn't even know why I was doing that. I was just doing it, and I was just following my intuition. I had a few dollars more in my pocket to go ahead and purchase them, so I went ahead and just loaded down my cart with um, these Cookie Monster slippers, and I knew that exactly what the next steps were. I just didn't want to reveal that at the time, So I bought them, took them home, talked to my girlfriend about it. But anyways, I ended up packaging them up and sending them all to like major CEOs like across America, and in the city I lived in too, or anybody that I can find, that I can get a pair to. Um, so I didn't, it was a small thing. The thing that was major about it is I had an index card with a handwritten note saying, I promise you, if you wear these slippers every day for a little bit, like, for the next 30 days, I promise you it will change your life. Um, and that's what I wrote. I had no belief that, I had no concept that that was promise would be fulfilled. Like it would change, but I thought that the planting the seed of having people wear Cookie Monster slippers would do something to them, and they would just change. It would just change their life, with or without me, But um, so I did it. My girlfriend thought I was nuts. It cost me, just a few dollars for that little thing, and I moved on. There was nothing to really do after that. I just moved on with my life, and we're doing our thing. And almost a year later, we were traveling. We were flying maybe to Florida or something like that, and I grabbed the magazine from the back of the seat there, and I'm flipping through it, and there's a center spread of a CEO guy sitting there with his legs crossed, and he's wearing a pair of Cookie Monster slippers. And I was like, oh my God, look at this. And the title was like, sometimes you just gotta chill out to, make things happen, or something like that. Um, and and I was just like so blown away. I know I didn't give that guy, I don't, that pair of slippers. It wasn't from me. Um, so it was obviously someone I had done, sent the slippers to or given them to, like some, and mainly all corporate people that decided to pay it forward, and do the same thing. Like maybe they included the same note saying, "I promise you, if you wear these slippers for 30 days, it will change your life." And that's the same message. Even though it didn't mention me or like anything like that, this thing got kind of started by this non-named individual, and that lived in the middle of America, um, did this thing and created this little bit of movement. And so I, looked at my girlfriend. I was like pointing at this, was like, look at this, look. And she kind of freaked out too. She was like, oh my God, that is so freaky. And I said, yeah, obviously it was that someone paid it forward, and I'm happy they did, because it turned out to make me feel so satisfied that I did that. And I had no expectations. I didn't know there was going to be something that's going to become of it. I just did it. And I followed my intuition. That's what I mean by following your intuition. You just kind of go with your gut. You go with your mind. You go with your heart. And that's me, like, doing something like that. There are a lot of other things intuition will tell you can do that it requires no, like, money, and no, like, buying something for strangers and giving them stuff. It's like it will give you a sense of direction of what you need to be doing for yourself to make things happen in your own life and take you in that general direction. And the more you get set in that general direction, the more you'll understand it and keep moving through it. Um, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a rocky process. Not going to be easy at all. At all. It's going to be rocky. It's going to be tough. You're going to find yourself standing on your own, or moving along, or paving your own new road. But by then, you already have been convicted. You'll have that feeling in your heart. You'll have that sense of purpose. And change will take that kind of effort sometimes. So that's what I mean. So you just got to muster up and go for it. Dream it, dare to reach out and take action. You're an Americanteer now. You're not just an average American. You're an Americanteer. You know now, because I just told you how to do it. We just talked about it, how to get things set in that general direction as an Americanteer. Because that's what we do. We want to unite Americans. We want to make each other strong and help each other in that way. It's very important, and doesn't have anything to do with any special program or government, city, state program. It has everything to do with what we are doing as individuals, as Americans, as Americanteers, as a new America, a new discovery, a new life, a new beginning. That's what I'm talking about, and change. I'm not talking about this like, so don't bring it down to like, oh, it's just the change I hear about all the time. No, this is totally about a new change, a new shift, a new voice in America that is desperately needed today. And it was needed 5 years ago. We needed this so long ago that I've been talking about it. I'm surprised we're not doing it already, but we can. Today we can. You can join me today, right now, and say, I'm in. That's all it takes. It's um, that it takes self-will, like, to just say that. I mean, I can't force you, so it's something you have to discover within yourself and find that it's valuable enough to want to be a part of real change in America, for the future. So let's do this. We can do it together, which is way cooler and better than us running around out there doing it by ourselves. So we can share with each other. We can team up with other good teams too. I mean, everybody's in. There's no such thing as like you're, everybody wants to be a part of it, can be a part of it. So join up, join me. Let's do this. Have a great day. Thank you for listening. Peace, love, be cool.